Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive on the 2025 Golden Globe nominations. Before we get started though, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to our channel. Okay, so let's set the stage here. The 82nd Golden Globe Awards are coming up. They're airing on January 5th. And well, let's just say there's been a lot of buzz. Emilia Perez, which is a musical by Jacques Audiard, it's gotten 10 nominations. Can you believe that? 10. It's actually a new record for a musical or comedy. To help us break down all these nominations and really understand what they all mean, we have a film expert here with us today.
It's a really interesting year for nominations. There's a really diverse group of films and shows nominated, everything from big-budget blockbusters to smaller indie films.
I'm excited to dive in. But before we get into the nominations themselves, can you give us a little background on the Golden Globes for anyone who might not know? Why are they such a big deal in Hollywood?
Yeah, so the Golden Globes, they're presented by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. And you can kind of think of them as like the Oscars' more fun cousin. Their picks don't always line up exactly with the Oscars, but they've become a major force in the industry.
So it's not just a fancy party then?
No, not at all. These nominations can really launch careers, boost box office numbers, and influence which movies everyone's talking about. Getting a Golden Globe nomination is huge for the actors, the filmmakers, the studios, everyone.
Okay, so these nominations have some serious weight behind them. Let's go back to Emilia Perez for a minute. It got a record-breaking 10 nominations. It's a narco thriller, a Broadway musical, and a trans drama, all in one movie. I have to see this. What do you think this means for the film's future?
It's a big deal. 10 nominations puts it right at the front of the awards season buzz, which means more people are going to see it. Critics are going to be paying attention. This could mean a big boost at the box office, and maybe even more awards.
Wow, that's amazing. But Emilia Perez isn't the only movie doing well. The Brutalist has 7 nominations, and Conclave got 6. They sound like strong contenders as well.
Definitely. The Brutalist is already creating a lot of buzz. It's over 3 hours long with an intermission, so it's a bit of a commitment. But people are saying it's a really incredible cinematic experience. And then Conclave has a really great cast. Ralph Fiennes is playing a cardinal who's in charge of picking the new pope. Oh, and Isabella Rossellini is nominated for her role in it as well.
Wow, so many great actors. Okay, but let's be honest. Awards season wouldn't be the same without a few surprises. Were there any nominations that caught you off guard? Or any snubs that you didn't agree with?
Well, there are always a few. The nominations for The Apprentice definitely raised some eyebrows. It's going to be interesting to see how the election might affect how people view the film.
Yeah, that's a really good point. What else?
Oh, The Substance. It's directed by Coralie Farjate. It's this really interesting film. It's a body horror, but it's also a satire of Hollywood. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley are both nominated for their roles in it. They play an actress and her younger doppelganger. Really interesting stuff.
That sounds amazing. I need to add that to my watch list. Oh, and I saw that The Wild Robot got 4 nominations. That's the animated film from DreamWorks.
Oh, yes. It's really heartwarming. It's about a robot that gets shipwrecked. Kind of like Wall-E, but even more heartwarming.
That sounds adorable. Okay, but we need to talk about TV as well. The Bear is doing really well. It got 5 nominations for its 3rd season.
It's been such a hit with critics right from the start. And Only Murders in the Building is back again this year. Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez all got nominated.
It looks like people just can't get enough of those murders on the Upper West Side. So before we go any further, I know you all are probably eager to hear about the nominees in all the major categories. So let's do it. We're going to go through the contenders for Best Motion Picture Drama, Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, Best Motion Picture Animated, Best Motion Picture Non-English Language, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. Get ready for a whirlwind tour of cinematic excellence.
Let's dive in. We'll start with Best Motion Picture Drama. We have 6 incredible films in this category.
All right, first up we have The Brutalist. It's that epic saga we talked about earlier. Over 3 hours long, set in post-war America. Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones are the leads in this one. It looks absolutely incredible.
Then there's A Complete Unknown. It's a biopic about Bob Dylan. And Timothée Chalamet is playing him. People are already saying amazing things about his performance.
Oh, wow.
And next we have Conclave. With Ralph Fiennes as the cardinal who's choosing the next pope, it seems like it's going to be full of intrigue and moral dilemmas.
Sounds intense.
And of course, we can't forget about Dune, Part 2. The first one was visually stunning, and I'm sure the sequel is going to be just as impressive. The cast is huge. I can't wait to see them all back on Arrakis.
Me too. Next up is Nickel Boys. This one is based on true story. It's about the abuse that happened at a reform school. It's a really tough subject, but an important story to tell.
And the last film in this category is September 5th. There's not much information about this one yet, but being nominated alongside these other films means it must be good.
Interesting. Okay, let's move on to Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Emilia Perez is the frontrunner here with its 10 nominations.
The story follows a Mexican drug lord who gets gender-affirming surgery. It's a really bold and intriguing premise, and the cast is incredible. Carla Sofia Gascon, Zoe Saldana, and Selena Gomez. It's going to be a whirlwind of action, music, drama, and incredible performances.
I can't wait. Next, we have Honora. It won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. It was directed by Sean Baker, and it's about a Brooklyn sex worker who gets involved with the son of a Russian oligarch. It explores some really interesting themes about class and love.
Then there's Challengers. It stars Zendaya, Mike Faist, and Josh O'Connor. It's a tennis drama. I'm sure it'll be filled with all the rivalry and intensity of the sport.
I love tennis. This one is definitely on my list. Okay, next is A Real Pain. This one stars Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin. It looks hilarious. It's about two brothers who have to deal with their father's death.
And we can't forget about The Substance. We talked about it earlier, that blend of body horror and Hollywood satire. Definitely a unique film.
Yeah, for sure. And last but not least, we have Wicked. This is the long-awaited film adaptation of the Broadway musical with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande as Elphaba and Glenda. I'm sure it's going to be magical.
All right, let's move on to animation now for Best Motion Picture Animated.
First up is Flow. It's from Sideshow and Janus Films. It looks visually stunning. We don't know much about the plot yet, but these studios are known for pushing the boundaries of animation.
Then we have Inside Out 2. Everyone loved the first Inside Out, so I'm sure the sequel will be just as good. We'll be going back inside Riley's head to see what her emotions are up to now.
I wonder if they've added any new emotions.
That would be interesting.
Next, we have Memoir of a Snail. It's from IFC Films. It's about a snail's journey through the world. It looks really charming and unique.
And then we have Moana 2, another Disney sequel. This one is sure to be filled with beautiful animation, catchy songs, and a heartwarming story.
I can't wait to see what Moana gets up to this time.
And then there's Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, the newest adventure from the iconic duo. We can expect lots of stop-motion animation, wacky inventions, and slapstick humor.
Classic Wallace and Gromit.
And of course we have The Wild Robot, the heartwarming story of a shipwrecked robot.
I'm already picturing a little robot singing about friendship. Okay, let's expand our horizons a bit and talk about the Best Motion Picture Non-English Language nominees.
First up, we have All We Imagine as Light. This one is from India. We don't know much about the plot yet, but early reviews are saying it's visually stunning and really emotional.
And Emilia Perez is on the list again, this time representing France.
It's a truly global film.
Yes. Okay, then we have The Girl with the Needle. It's from Denmark. And it sounds like a really gripping thriller, centered around a strong female character.
I'm Still Here is representing Brazil. It's about a woman who faces incredible adversity, but finds the strength to keep going.
That sounds inspiring.
Then we have The Seed of the Sacred Fig from Germany. It looks like a really moving story about family and resilience.
And lastly, we have Vermiglio
Yeah.
from Italy. Early reviews are saying the cinematography is absolutely breathtaking.
All right, now let's move on to the actors. We'll start with Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama.
Our first nominee is Pamela Anderson. For her role in The Last Showgirl, this is actually her first Golden Globe nomination. She's playing an aging Las Vegas showgirl. It sounds like a really powerful performance.
Next, we have Angelina Jolie. She's nominated for Maria, where she plays the iconic opera singer Maria Callas.
Wow, what a role.
And then we have Nicole Kidman for her role in Baby Girl. She always takes on such interesting and challenging roles.
She does.
And Tilda Swinton is nominated for The Room Next Door. She's such a captivating actress. She always brings such depth and complexity to her characters.
She does. And then we have Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here.
Yeah.
She's getting a lot of praise for her performance.
And our last nominee in this category is Kate Winslet for Lee, another incredible actress. She's known for giving some really transformative performances.
She is. Okay, now let's move on to Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama.
First up, we have Adrian Brody. For his role in The Brutalist, he's known for being such an intense and nuanced actor.
He is. And then we have Timothée Chalamet again, this time for playing Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown. What a challenge.
It is. And next we have Daniel Craig for his role in Queer. It's an adaptation of William S. Burroughs' novel. It's a really complex and controversial story.
I've heard of that book. Okay, then we have Coleman Domingo for his role in Sing Sing. It's a prism drama. I've heard really good things about it.
And Ralph Fiennes is nominated again. For Conclave, he always brings such gravitas to his roles.
He does. And our last nominee in this category is Sebastian Stan for his portrayal of Donald Trump in The Apprentice. That's definitely a controversial role.
It is. Okay, now let's move on to the actresses in the musical or comedy category.
Sounds good. So first up, we have Amy Adams for Night Bitch. It's a dark comedy about a stay-at-home mom who thinks she's turning into a dog.
That sounds interesting.
It does. And Cynthia Erivo is nominated for her role as Elphaba in Wicked. She has such a powerful voice.
She does. And then we have Demi Moore. For The Substance, I'm really intrigued by this movie.
Me too.
And then we have Carla Sofia Gascon for her role in Emilia Perez. This is her breakout role, and people are really taking notice.
That's great. And then we have Mikey Madison for Honora. She's a relatively new actress, but she's already making a name for herself.
She is. And our last nominee in this category is Zendaya for Challengers. She's really talented.
She is. Okay, now let's move on to the actors in the musical or comedy category.
We have Jesse Eisenberg first for his role in A Real Pain.
Oh, I love him.
He's great. And Hugh Grant is nominated for Heretic. It's a horror film. It's a bit of a departure for him.
It is.
Then we have Gabriel LaBelle for Saturday Night. It's a coming-of-age comedy.
Okay.
And then we have Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness.
I always enjoy his performances.
He's a really talented actor. And then Glenn Powell is nominated for Hitman. It's an action comedy. It looks really fun.
It does. And Sebastian Stan is nominated again, this time for A Different Man. It's a psychological thriller.
All right, now let's move on to the supporting actresses.
Okay, so first up we have Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez. This is her second nomination.
Wow. And Ariana Grande is nominated for her role as Glinda in Wicked.
That makes sense.
And Felicity Jones is nominated for The Brutalist, another great addition to that already impressive cast.
Yeah, it is.
And Margaret Qualley is nominated for The Substance, playing the younger version of Demi Moore's character.
Oh, that's right.
And Isabel Rossellini is nominated for Conclave. She always brings such elegance to her roles.
She does.
And our last nominee in this category is Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. That's the film's third nomination in this category.
Wow, they're doing really well. Okay, let's move on to the supporting actors now.
First up, we have Yura Borisov for Honora. He plays the son of a Russian oligarch.
Oh.
And then we have Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. He's so funny.
He is.
And Edward Norton is nominated for A Complete Unknown. He plays Woody Guthrie in the film.
Wow, that's a great role for him.
It is. And then we have Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Another great addition to that cast.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Strong is nominated for The Apprentice. He plays Roy Cohn.
I can't wait to see that.
And our last nominee in this category is Denzel Washington. He's nominated for Gladiator Two-Thect. He's reprising his role from the first film.
Oh, wow, that's exciting. Okay, let's talk about the directors now for Best Director.
Sounds good. So first up, we have Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez. He's known for making really visually stunning and emotional films.
He is.
And then Sean Baker is nominated for Honora. He's great at capturing the nuances of human relationships.
He is.
And then Edward Berger is nominated for Conclave. He's really good at creating tension and intrigue.
He is.
And Brady Corbett is nominated for The Brutalist. His films are always visually striking.
They are.
And Coralie Farjai is nominated for The Substance. She's got a really unique vision.
She does.
And our last nominee in this category is Payal Kapadia for All We Imagine as Light. It's representing India.
Amazing. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the Best Screenplay nominees.
First up, we have Jacques Audiard again. For Emilia Perez, he's great at creating complex and engaging characters.
He is.
And then Sean Baker is nominated again as well. For Honora, he's really good at capturing social dynamics.
He is.
And then Brady Corbett and Mona Fastwold are nominated together for The Brutalist.
Okay.
And then we have Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain. He's a talented writer as well as an actor.
He is.
And Peter Strawn is nominated for Conclave. It must be difficult to write a screenplay based on historical events.
It must.
And our last nominee in this category is Coralie Farjai for The Substance.
Yeah.
Her screenplay is really thought-provoking.
It is.
Wow, that was a lot. We went through a lot of nominees.
We did.
I need a minute to catch my breath.
Me too. But don't worry, everyone. We'll be back for part 2 of this deep dive soon, so stay tuned.
You know, it's interesting to think about how these nominations can actually affect people's careers.
Oh, yeah. What kind of impact can they have?
Well, a Golden Globe nomination, it can be huge, especially for actors. It can open so many doors, bigger roles, working with top directors. It can even mean a lot more money. It's like a sign of approval from the whole industry.
So it's like they finally made it in Hollywood.
Exactly. It shows that the industry recognizes their talent, that they believe in them.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
But it's not just actors, though, right?
Oh, of course not. Directors and screenwriters benefit too. A nomination can give them more creative freedom, bigger budgets for their projects, and they might get to work with bigger stars.
It's like a chain reaction. One nomination leads to all these other opportunities.
Yeah, you could say that. And let's not forget about the movies and shows themselves. Nominations can bring in a lot more viewers, boost box office numbers, and create a lot of buzz during awards season.
It's all about the momentum. Speaking of momentum, there are a few nominees this year who are already doing really well. Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Selena Gomez, they all have multiple nominations.
They're definitely on a roll. Zendaya already has an Emmy, and now she has 2 Golden Globe nominations, one for Challengers and one for Only Murders in the Building. She's so talented.
She is. And Timothée Chalamet, he's getting so much attention for his role in A Complete Unknown. A lot of people are predicting he'll win.
And Selena Gomez, she's an actress, a singer. And now she has 2 Golden Globe nominations, too. One for Emilia Perez and one for Only Murders in the Building.
Your career is taking off.
It is. It's incredible to see these young actors achieving so much. Makes me wonder, are there any newcomers who might get their big break from these nominations?
Well, Mikey Madison is one to watch. She's nominated for Honora. She's still fairly new to the scene, so this could be a big moment for her.
And Pamela Anderson, this is her first Golden Globe nomination.
It is.
She's getting rave reviews for The Last Showgirl.
It shows that it's never too late to have a breakout moment. A Golden Globe nomination can really change things for anyone.
It's all about taking those opportunities when they come. Exactly. These nominations can really launch careers. It's exciting to see what happens next for these actors.
Okay, so we've talked about actors, directors, screenwriters. But we can't forget about the music. I know our listeners are eager to hear about the nominees for Best Original Score and Best Original Song.
Let's start with Best Original Score. We've got a really talented group of composers this year. Daniel Blumberg is nominated for his work on The Brutalist. His score really captures the film's epic feel.
Okay.
And then Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, they're nominated for Challengers. They did the music for The Social Network and Gone Girl. Their music always adds this layer of suspense and drama.
I love their work.
Me too. Then the Clément Ducol and Camille, they're nominated for Emilia Perez. They're a French composing duo. Their score blends so well with the film's unique style.
That sounds cool.
It is. And Volker Bertelmann, he won an Oscar for his score for All Quiet on the Western Front, and now he's nominated for Conclave.
Wow.
And Chris Bowers is nominated for The Wild Robot. He created this really whimsical and heartwarming score for the film.
I can't wait to hear it.
And last but certainly not least, Hans Zimmer. He's nominated for Dune, Part 2. His scores are always so epic.
They are.
Okay, now let's move on to Best Original Song. We have a mix of big names and newcomers in this category.
First up, we have Beautiful That Way from The Last Showgirl. It was written by Andrew Wyatt, Miley Cyrus, and Like Lee.
That's a great lineup.
It is. And then we have Compress Repress from Challengers. It's another Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross composition, this time with lyrics by Luca Guadagnino.
That's interesting.
It is. And then we have 2 songs from Emilia Perez, El Mal and Mi Camino, both composed by Clément Ducol and Camille.
It's always impressive when a film gets multiple nominations in this category.
It is. Okay, then we have Forbidden Road from Better Man. It's written by Robbie Williams, Freddie Wexler, and Sacha Skarbek.
That sounds like a good one.
And lastly, we have Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot. It has a whole team of writers: DeLacy Jordan, Kay Johnson, Stephen Johnson, Maren Morris, Michael Pollack, and Ali Tamposi.
Wow, that's a lot of writers.
It is.
It's amazing to see so many different musical styles represented here.
It is. Music plays such an important role in film.
It really does. Okay, so we've talked about the nominees in the main categories, but we should also mention the special awards being presented this year.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about those.
Viola Davis is receiving the Cecil B. DeMille Award. It's given to someone who's made outstanding contributions to entertainment.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is.
Yeah.
And Ted Danson is receiving the Carol Burnett Award for his achievements in television.
It's so great to see these 2 icons being recognized.
It really is. These awards celebrate a lifetime of work. It's a reminder that success in Hollywood takes time.
It does.
It takes passion, dedication, a love for what you do.
Just so true.
It's not always about winning awards.
Yeah.
The Golden Globes are also about celebrating everyone in the industry, the stars and the people behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's a chance to come together as a community.
Exactly. And to appreciate the power of storytelling.
I like that.
And, the Golden Globes are also a big fundraiser for charity.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a way for Hollywood to give back.
That's great. So it's a night of glamour, celebration, and philanthropy. What more could you ask for?
Well, there's one more thing I wanted to mention.
What's that?
I think it's really interesting to look at how the Golden Globes reflect what's happening in the film and TV industry right now. This year's nominations show a few interesting trends.
Okay, I'm listening.
We're seeing a lot of films that are hard to put into a single category.
Yeah, like Emilia Perez and The Substance. They blend different genres together in a really interesting way.
Exactly. It's like filmmakers are trying new things. They're not afraid to break the rules.
I love that. And we're also seeing more international films and TV shows getting recognized.
Squid Game is still hugely popular, and films like All We Imagine Is Light and I'm Still Here, they're bringing stories from other parts of the world to a wider audience.
That's great. It just goes to show that great stories can come from anywhere. It's also really exciting to see more diversity behind the camera.
Definitely. The industry is becoming more inclusive, and that's reflected in the kinds of stories being told. We're seeing films that address important social issues and offer different perspectives.
It really feels like a positive change, like Hollywood is finally starting to catch up with the real world.
I agree. These nominations are more than just a list of names. They show us where the entertainment industry is going. We're seeing a shift toward more diverse, more inclusive, and more innovative storytelling.
That's so inspiring to see all these talented people breaking boundaries and making history. And it's not just about diversity behind the camera. It's about seeing diverse characters and stories on screen, too.
Absolutely. When people see themselves represented in the stories they watch, it creates a connection. It helps break down stereotypes, and it makes the whole cinematic experience richer and more meaningful.
Exactly.
So as we get ready for the Golden Globes, it's important to celebrate not just the winners, but also the progress that's being made. These nominations show that the industry is changing, and that's really exciting.
I completely agree. Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into the 2025 Golden Globe nominations. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah.
And to all our listeners out there, as you watch the Golden Globes, think about this. What do these nominations tell us about the future of storytelling? Will we see more films that blend genres, more international perspectives, more diverse voices behind the camera? It's something to think about.
That's a great question. And to everyone watching, we want to hear from you. What do you think about this year's nominations? Who are you rooting for? Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to like this video. And subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of film and TV. Until next time, happy watching.